every day before my feet hit the ground, I recite the names of Cassie Bernal, Stephen Kernow, Corey DePuter, Kelly Fleming, Matt Kechter, Daniel Mauser, Danny Rohrbaugh, Dave Sanders, Rachel Scott, Isaiah Scholes, John Tomlin, Lauren Townsend, and Kyle Velasquez. And they give me the inspiration to do, after the event happened at Columbine, to go back and do that. And I continue to speak on their behalf and trying to help others in dealing with events such as ours.
The reaction of so many people today was, oh no, not again. Another high school, Columbine High in Littleton, Colorado, this time on the edge of Denver. It has been a horror. The gunman, fellow students who rushed the school and opened fire for reasons we do not know yet, for reasons we may never know.
On April 20th, 1999, my sister and I got into a little argument that morning. I had made us late to school. I had to have my hair just perfect. And she was getting on to me about making us late. And we got into this fight, and she pulled up, and she actually would drop me off at the front of the school, and then went to go park even though I was making us late. And I got out and slammed the car door shut on her. And I walked in the school. I had no idea that that would be the last time I would see her.
My secretary comes running in, and it's so vivid as if it was yesterday. She comes running in, and I had a little paneled window on my door, and I said, something's wrong. And she said, Frank, there's been a report of gunfire and pipe bombs. And I'm thinking, this can't be happening. I've been there for 20 years, probably count on two hands the number of fights we had or any types of violence or things.
And someone ran through the room. I'm not quite sure who it was, yelling, get down. I think it took a second for, us all to look around, but realizing that everyone in that very crowded cafeteria, there was hundreds of us in there, everyone sort of slowly gotten down onto the ground.
It was near the end of the school year, so I thought maybe some seniors were pulling a prank. And then a teacher ran to the room. She was very frantic, and she started yelling at all of us to hide and get underneath tables. I get underneath the table, not knowing what's going on. My two friends just very, very scared and frantic, but I felt like I heard just an inner voice tell me to be still. And so I became very quiet and very still. They saw my friend Isaiah at my school. Isaiah was one of the very few African-American students. And so one of them called the other one over and started to call Isaiah racial slurs. They tried to drag him out from underneath the table, and they shot and killed Isaiah. They shot and killed my friend Matt. And they left me under there. I thought I was going to die. I can't tell you how thankful I was to be alive. At the same time, I felt, I didn't know what to call it then. It was survivor's guilt, but I felt bad that I left my friends underneath that table.
Every time there's a shooting, it brings back the trauma. It's heartbreaking to see this happen again and again and again, and sort of having, frankly, I have very little hope that things will change, because things should have changed after Columbine.
But we continue, and people hear about it and say, okay, how many this time? We can't get to the point saying that this is how our country has to be, that we accept this. We have to stand up to say enough is enough.
For me, when I hear about another shooting, I'm just convinced to keep trying to make a positive impact. My sister was wanting to start a chain reaction of kindness and compassion. Since then, my family and I have been sharing her story across the country and across the world. And her story has become a real inspiration to millions of students. A month before the shooting, she wrote an essay for her class, and she titled it, My Ethics, My Codes of Life. And in it, she talked about looking for the best in life. She talked about looking for the good in other people. And she had this theory. She said, I have this idea, this theory, that if one person will go out of their way to show compassion, it will start a chain reaction of the same. And people will never know how far a little bit of kindness can go. She felt like she was going to impact millions of people. When she was 13, she traced her hands like this on the back of an old dresser And in the center of one of the hands, she said, "These hands belong to Rachel Joy Scott and will someday touch millions of people's hearts."